Cantos 25 to 27 of Book 2 of the Ramayana of Valmiki, translated by Ralph T. H. Griffith. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Om123. Canto 25. Kaushalya's Blessing. Her grief and woe she cast aside, her lips with water purified, and thus her banishment began, that murder of the noblest man. If thou wilt hear no words of mine, go forth, thou pride of Raghu's line. Go, darling, and return with speed, walking where noble spirits lead. May virtue on thy steps attend, and be her faithful lover's friend. May those to whom thy vows are paid, in temple and in holy shade, with all the mighty saints combine, to keep that precious life of thine. The arms wise Vishwamitra gave, thy virtuous soul from danger save. Long be thy life, thy sure defence shall be thy truthful innocence. And that obedience not can tire, to me thy mother and thy sire. My fanes where holy fires are fed, altars with grass and feeble spread. Its sacrificial ground, its tree, rock, lake, and mountain prosper thee. Let old Viras and him who made the universe combine to aid. Let Indra and each guardian lord who keeps the worlds their help afford, and be thy constant friend the sun, Lord Pusha, Vaga, Aryaman. Fortnights and seasons, nights and days, years, months, and hours protect thy ways. Brihaspati shall still be nigh, the war god, and the moon on high, and Narad and the sainted seven shall watch thee from their starry heaven. The mountains and the seas which ring, the world and Varun the king, sky, ether, and the wind, whatever moves not or moves, for thee shall care. Each lunar mansion be benign, with happier light the planets shine. All gods, its light in heaven that glows, protect my child wherever he goes. The twilight hours, the day and night, keep in the wood thy steps aright. Watch, minute instant, as they flee, shall all bring happiness to thee. Celestials and the Titan brood protect thee in thy solitude, and haunt the mighty wood to bless the wanderer in his hermit dress. Fear not, by mightier guardians screened, the giant or night-roving fiend, nor let the cruel race who tear man's flesh for food thy bosom scare. Far be the ape, the scorpion's sting, fly, gnat and worm and creeping thing. Thee shall the hungry lion spare, the tiger, elephant, and bear. Safe from the furious might repose, safe from the horned buffaloes. Each savage thing the forests breed, that love on human flesh to feed, shall for my child its rays abate, when thus its wrath I deprecate. Blessed be thy ways, may sweet success the valor of my darling bless. To all that fortune can bestow, go forth, my child, my Rama, go. Go forth, O happy in the love of all the gods below, above, and in those guardian powers confide. Thy paths who keep, thy steps who guide. May Sukra, Yama, sun and moon, and he who gives each golden boon, won by mine honest prayers be good to thee, my son, in Dandak wood. Fire, wind, and smoke, its text and spell, from mouths of holy seers that fell. God Rama, when his limbs he dips, or with the stream makes pure his lips. May the great saints and he, the Lord, who made the worlds by worlds adored, and every god in heaven beside, my banished Rama keep and guide. Thus with due praise the long-eyed dame, ennobled by her spotless fame, with wreaths of flowers and precious scent, worshipped the gods most reverent. A high-souled Brahman lit the fire, and offered at the queen's desire the holy oil ordained to burn for Rama's weal and safe return. Kaushalya, best of dames, with care set oiled wreaths fuel mastered there. Then, when the rites of fire had ceased, for Rama's bliss and health, the priest, standing without, gave what remained in general offering as ordained. Dealing among the twice-horned train honey and curds and oil and grain, he bade each heart and voice unite to bless the youthful anchorite. Then Rama's mother, glorious dame, bestowed, to meet the Brahman's claim, a lordly fee for duty done, and thus again addressed her son. Such blessings as the gods overjoyed poured forth when Britra was destroyed. On Indra the thousand eyes attend, my child, thine enterprise. Yea, such as Vinata once gave to King Suparna, swift and brave, who sought the drink that cheers the skies. Attend, my child, thine enterprise. Yea, such as, when the Amrit rose, and Indra slew his Daitya foes, the royal Aditi bestowed on him, whose hand with slaughter glowed, of the dire brood of monstrous size. Attend, my child, thine enterprise. Even such as peerless Vishnu graced, when with his triple step he paced, outbursting from the dwarf's disguise. Attend, my child, thine enterprise. Floods, isles, and seasons as they fly, walls, Vedas, quarters of the sky, combine, O mighty arm, to bless the destined heir of happiness. The long-eyed lady ceased. She shed pure scent and grain upon his head, and that prized harp, whose sovereign power preserves from dark misfortune's hour, upon the hero's arm she set, to be his faithful amulet. While holy texts she murmured low, and spoke glad words, though crushed by war, concealing with obedient tongue the pangs with which her heart was wrung. She bent, she kissed his brow, she pressed her darling to her troubled breast. "Firm in thy purpose go," she cried, "go, Rama, and may bliss betide. Attain, returning safe and well, triumphant in Ayodhya dwell. Then shall my happy eyes behold the empire by thy will controlled. Then grief and care shall leave no trace, joy shall light up thy mother's face, and I shall see my darling reign in moonlight glory come again. These eyes shall fondly gaze on thee, so faithful to thy sire's decree, when thou the forest wild shalt quit, on thine ancestral throne to sit. Ere thou shalt turn from exile back, nor choicest blessings ever lack, then fill with rapture ever now my bosom and thy consorts too. To Siva and the heavenly host my worship has been paid, to mighty saint, to godlike ghost, to every wandering shade. Forth to the forest thou wilt hie, therein to dwell so long. Let all the quarters of the sky protect my child from wrong. Her blessings thus the queen bestowed, then round him fondly paced, and often, while her eyes overflowed, her dearest son embraced. Kaushalya's honored feet he pressed, as round her steps she bent, and radiant with her prayers that blessed, to Sita's home he went. Canto 26. Alone with Sita. So Rama, to his purpose true, to Queen Kaushalya bade adieu, received the benison she gave, and to the path of duty clave. As through the crowded street he passed, a radiance on the way he cast, and its fair grace by all approved, the bosoms of the people moved. Now of the woeful change no word the fair Videhan bride had heard. The thought of that imperial rite still filled her bosom with delight. With grateful heart and joyful thought the gods in worship she had sought, and well in royal duties learned, sat longing till her lord returned. Not all unmarked by grief and shame, within his sumptuous home he came, and hurried through the happy crowd, with eye dejected, gloomy browed. Up Sita sprang, and every limb trembled with fear at sight of him. She marked that cheek where anguish fed, those senses care disquieted. For when he looked on her no more could his heart hide the load it bore, nor could the pious chief control the paleness over his cheek that stole. He altered cheer, his brow bedewed, with clammy draughts his grief she viewed, and cried, consumed with fires of woe, "What, O my lord, hath changed thee so?" Brihaspati looks down benign, and the moon rests in Pushya's sign. As Brahman says this they declare, then whence, my lord, this grief and care? Why does no canopy like foam for its white beauty shade thee home, its 100 wreaths spread wide to throw splendor on thy fair head below? Where are the royal fans to grace the lotus beauty of thy face, fair as the moon or wild swan's wing, and waving round the new-made king? Why do no sweet-toned birds rejoice to hail thee with triumphant voice? No tuneful heralds love to raise loud music in their monarch's praise? Why do no Brahmans scripture read pour cards and honey on thy head, anointed, as the laws ordain, with holy rites supreme to reign? Where are the chiefs of every guild, where are the myriads should have filled the streets and followed home their king with merry noise and triumphing? Why does no gold-wrought chariot lead, with 4 brave horses, best for speed? No elephant precede the crowd, like a huge hill or thunder cloud, marked from his birth for happy fate, whom signs auspicious decorate? Why does no henchman, young and fair, precede thee, and delight to bear, entrusted to his reverend gold, the burden of thy throne of gold? Why, if the consecrating rite be ready, why this mournful plight? Why do I see this sudden change, this altered mien so sad and strange? To her, as thus she weeping cried, Raghu's illustrious son replied, Sita, my honored sire's decree commands me to the woods to flee. O high-born lady, nobly bred, in the good paths thy footsteps tread. Hear, Janak's daughter, while I tell the story as it all befell. Of old my father, true and brave, 2 boons to Kaikeyi gave. Through these the preparations made for me today by her are stayed, for he is bound to disallow this promise by that earlier vow. In Dandak forest wild and vast must 14 years by me be passed. My father's will makes Bharat heir, the kingdom and the throne to share. Now, ere the lonely wild I seek, I come once more with thee to speak. In Bharat's presence, O my dame, never speak with pride of Rama's name. Another's eulogy to hear is hateful to a monarch's ear. Thou must with love his rule obey, to whom my father yields the sway. With love and sweet observance learn his grace and more the king's to earn. Now that my father may not break the words of promise that he spake, to the drear wood my steps are bent. Be firm, good Sita, and content. Through all that time, my blameless spouse, keep well thy fasts and holy vows. Rise from thy bed at break of day, and to the gods due worship pay. With meek and lowly love revere the Lord of man, my father dear, and reverence to Kaushalya show, my mother worn with eld and woe. By duty's law, O best of dames, high worship from thy love she claims, nor to the other queens refuse observance, rendering each her dues. By love and fond attention shown, they are my mothers like mine own. Let Bharat and Satrughna bear in thy sweet love a special share. Dear as my life, oh let them be like brother and like son to thee. In every word and deed refrain from aught that Bharat's soul may pain. He is Ayodhya's king and mine, the head and lord of all our line. For those who serve and love them much, with weariless endeavor touch, and win the gracious hearts of the kings, while wrath from disobedience springs. Great monarchs from their presence send their lawful sons who still offend, and welcome to the vacant place, good children of an alien race. Then, best of women, rest thou here, and Bharat's will with love revere. Obedient to thy king remain, and still thy vows of truth maintain. To the wide wood my steps I bend, make thou thy dwelling here. See that thy conduct never offend, and keep my words, my dear. Canto 27. Sita's Speech. He sweetly speaking bride, who best deserved her lord, he thus addressed. Then tender love bade passion wake, and thus the fair Videhan spake. What words are these that thou hast said? Contempt of me the thought has bred. O best of heroes, I dismiss with bitter scorn a speech like this. Unworthy of a warrior's fame, it taints a monarch's son with shame, never to be heard from those who know the signs of the sword and bow. My lord, the mother, sire, and son receive their lots by merit won. The brother and the daughter find the portions of their deeds assigned. The wife alone, whatever await, must share on earth her husband's fate. So now the king's command, which sends thee to the wild, to me extends. The wife can find no refuge, none, in father, mother, self, or son. Both here, and when they vanish hence, her husband is her sole defence. If, Raghu's son, thy steps are led where Dandak's pathless wilds are spread, my foot before thine own shall pass through tangled thorn and matted grass. Dismiss thine anger and thy doubt, like refuse water, cast them out, and lead me, O my hero, hence. I know not sin, with confidence. Whatever his lot, it is far more sweet to follow still a husband's feet than in rich palaces to lie, or roam at pleasure through the sky. My mother and Messiah have taught what duty bids and trained its start, nor have I now mine ear to turn, the duties of a wife to learn. I will seek with thee the woodland dell, and pathless wild where no man dwell, where tribes of sylvan creatures roam, and many a tiger makes his home. My life shall pass as pleasant there, as in my father's palace fair. The world shall wake no care in me, my only care be truth to thee. There, while thy wish I still obey, true to my vows with thee I will stray, and there shall blissful hours be spent, in oats with honey redolent, in forest shades thy mighty arm would keep a stranger's life from harm. And how shall Sita think of fear, when thou, O glorious Lord, art near? Ire of high bliss, my choice is made, nor can I from my will be stayed. Doubt not, the earth will yield me roots, these will I eat, and woodland fruits, and as with thee I wander there, I will not bring thee grief or care. I long when thou, wise Lord, art nigh, all fearless with delighted eye, to gaze upon the rocky hill, the lake, the fountain, and the rill, to sport with thee, my limbs to cool in some pure lily-covered pool, while the white swans and mallards' wings are plashing in the water springs, so a thousand seasons flee, like one sweet day if spent with thee. Without my Lord I would not prize a home with gods above the skies. Without my Lord, my life to bless, where could be heaven or happiness? Forbid me not, with thee I go, the tangled wood to tread. There will I live with thee as though this roof were over my head. My will for thine shall be resigned, thy feet my steps shall guide. Thou, only thou art in my mind, I heed not all beside. Thy heart shall never by me grieved, do not my prayer deny. Take me, dear Lord, O thee bereaved, thy Sita swears to die. These words the duteous lady spake, nor would he yet consent his faithful wife with him to take, to share his banishment. He soothed her with his gentle speech, to change her will he strove, and much he said the woes to teach of those in wilds who rove. End of Cantos 25, 26, and 27.